What is up with it? Today we are back and we are going to be watching some Ace versus Emu content. This is going to be on Elevate TCG's Twitch. This is going to be Chalice playing the red blue Ace. Chalice, an extremely good Eastern player who I believe in this format has both a top 4 and a win with red blue Ace. And I believe at the time of this session, he was #1 ranked on Sim. Also love that he is chat banned on the Sim. That is very funny to me. Also, if you would like to partake in the Emu Guide Wars, I do not have a guide myself, but friend of the channel, Angelo, does. Full disclosure, I haven't actually read it myself yet. I haven't really dived as deep into 13 as many people. I was really focused on PRB because, as many of you know, I really love GP Luffy, but he has been kind enough to supply me with a discount code, OPTCG Grinder 10 or something like that. It will be in the description if you want to check it out. Friend of the channel. Again, I haven't read it myself, but he always does great work. So we mulliganed the initial hand and we are going first. This is exactly what I personally want to watch. You know, a lot of people saying this format is very die roll. This is, you know, this is a great player being forced to go first with a hand that I don't think is ideal. You know, we have the Yamato for the 5 Dawn turn. But we don't have any spell yet. Gonna go ahead and choose not to play the Garp yet. That's just so that we can draw a card before searching. So that way we have more information when we search. If you think about it, it's kind of like in GP, like you want to play your Going Merry before you play your Nami. But the opponent gonna go ahead and search out Jupiter and pitch a Charlos. Okay, so it looks like Chalice still likes the Vistas. I know he... Ooh, this is an interesting search. I wonder which one we'll grab. Okay, looks like we're gonna grab the Jozu. Not gonna play the 1-drop blocker. I'm gonna be really interested to see when and how he plays this in this matchup. Maybe like on his 9 Dawn turn when he uses the spell. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and take... This is a turn that some Emu players elect not to swing. The Emu also missing the Searcher here, and instead just playing out the War Curry, which we're gonna swing 7. The Emu also tapped out. And took. Okay, I'm starting to think we have some real win conditions here. Definitely some things that I'm noticing from the Emu that, again, I'm not super well versed in this format. I really am not. Like, I know a lot of people have really dived into it really deeply, and I just, honestly, I haven't been one of those people. But I know the Emu player would prefer to be at 3 life in this matchup for sure. I have to imagine we're going to pitch a Red Rock here. Yeah, and we do elect to. I'm going to go 6/6. This is normally... Okay, and they have a Mars in trash, which means surely they have one in hand. Yep, they do, and they're going to go ahead and pop the Yamato, which we will get a draw from. That's why it's pretty... Yeah, okay, 6/6 makes a lot of sense this turn. And I think we more or less know that they have a Jupiter in hand, because one went to their trash earlier, which makes me think that they probably have one in hand. I have to imagine this is a turn where we're playing Jozu. It could definitely be a Yamato, especially after the opponent trashed another Mars. If we Yamato, we could be less worried about, you know, the 3rd Mars coming down. But if we're going to go ahead and attach and swing, this tells me for sure we're going to see Jozu come down. And, you know, bouncing our own Garp is a double-edged sword. On one hand, we get the card back. On the other hand, if our opponent Shirahoshi's this turn, it could be bad for us. But we're going to go ahead and bounce it, you know, saying, hey, look, they don't always have the Shirahoshi, and even if they do, I'm not worried about it. We're also missing the spell here, but we do have the 9 beard, which can help cover up that miss. Gonna go ahead and go 4 for the Saturn. I have to imagine we're looking for Jupiter there. Otherwise, I don't think it really makes sense to start with that. And if the Emu player misses the Jupiter here, that would be pretty huge. That would be pretty huge for Chalice. Nope. Never lucky. I imagine we're going to go ahead and see a 7-7 pass, leave one up. I'd be a little surprised if we didn't leave one up. Okay, so looks like we're maybe valuing this red rock over this 1-drop blocker. So I do wonder if that's something he would have played if he had the spell. And I also wonder how he would value playing the 9 beard on 9 versus playing the spell plus 10. I'm guessing he probably values the spell plus 10, but unfortunately we're not going to get to see that here. Here I have to imagine we're going to see a 10 beard come down, but I could easily be mistaken about that. And it appears I am. It appears that I am. I am actually shocked that he started with this Garp. I mean, I know surely he's looking for the spell, but I don't feel like his hand had a great backup plan. Wow, really interesting. That's not something that I would have ever done, to be completely honest. But I guess he's maybe thinking, you know what, if I miss, it's okay. I can just push damage here. I have Roger. So getting them down makes a lot of sense. Okay. I don't really see any reason to play anything other than Yamato, but again, you know, he's okay. He's going with the Jozu. Okay, so he must have played this Garp thinking, I want to hit a spell, and if not a spell, I'll take Jozu, and if not Jozu, at least I can still Yamato. So really interesting turn for Chalice. Definitely able to pressure the opponent quite a lot. I wonder, you know, we could have gone 7-7 instead of 8-7. But 8-7 does allow us to say, hey, you need double 2k in hand. Also, I'm not sure why we're sending all these 7s at a 7k. I mean, it's pretty unlikely that Chalice has a bunch of 1ks. The deck doesn't play that many. But I feel like at least, I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like some of these definitely could have been at life instead. Like, the Jozu gets to be killed by this Nestro anyways. So, to be honest, I'm not really thrilled with how this ace player has been navigating these turns. I'm not sure why we were going 7-7 instead of 7-6. Especially like a Garp was known in hand. Like, we could have just made it so that Garp did not get to be a counter card this turn. But I don't know. So are we going to elect to spell here? I could definitely see a world where what we do here is we go 8-10, we take our own life. We don't swing at all. And then next turn we Roger and we hope we get there. I mean, we'll have a 6, 7, 12, all of which the opponent has to counter, which is not the easiest thing in the world, but it's also not the hardest thing in the world. So if we're not going to go for that line, we have to try and survive one additional turn, which, to be fair, oh, okay, we're going to go to 10 instead. Okay, so saying, you know what, if I'm only an 8, I die, which, to be honest, I think is true. So that makes sense. Gonna go ahead and upgrade the Ezo into a 2K. So the opponent can swing 117, and in order to get out of that, we would need 4 2Ks, which we currently do not have. However, the Ezo does get to check the top for us, cycle 1. Oh my god, disaster. Disaster. Okay. Chalice could die here if the opponent just swings 17. But will the opponent be willing to try it? I mean, the ace has 4 2Ks here a lot of the time. Especially because there's really not that many in trash. There's like 2. Most ace lists playing like maybe like 11 2Ks, somewhere around there, I think. So really interested to see what this emu player tries to do, you know? The other problem with playing this 10 beard here, to me, other than the fact that we will literally die, is that now our Roger turn, I feel like, is just so easy for the... Okay, so we're not dying. So that's hype. That's hype. We are confirmed not dying. Which is great. Wow, and we pitched a 1K for leader skill. I wonder... Wow, interesting. Can we die if he tries to go again? So it'd be 3 set. It would be 14. We would actually die if he YOLO'd the 14 here. But maybe we're just saying, you know what? He shouldn't ever do that. Especially when I pitch a 1K off leader skill, we're going to make him think that I have a bunch of counter, so that way he's not willing to do that. But to be honest, I don't think that makes any sense. Truthfully, I don't think that makes any sense. Like, I don't personally see worlds where we live another turn. So I feel like what we're trying to do is we're trying to mind game the opponent into not going for it. But I actually think we want them to go for it. If we had just pitched like the Newgate or the Marco, like we would have had 2-2-1 to get out of a 14. So I'm not seeing the upside, but I'm seeing a lot of downside, which is we die. But you know, again, Chalice, a win and a top 4, and me knowing nothing about the format. So he maybe knows something that I don't. I'm not really seeing how we live another turn. And now it's just, does our Roger get there? Which, you know, I didn't count it. I don't know. Maybe we died if we played the spell and we played the 10 beard. I really did not count that shit. So maybe we weren't allowed to. But to me, this feels like we're in the same spot, but instead of getting to swing a 10 or a 12, we're swinging a 10. And I think the 10 is infinity easier to get out. I mean, I'm going to go ahead and say that the opponent was getting out either way based on how much Dawn they left up, on the fact that they never existed that 7. Yeah. Were they? Yeah, they were getting out either way because they had one more never existed in hand. So it didn't actually matter. We'd have to go back and count to see if it really made sense. But I don't know. I would also like to know, how do you guys feel about this format? I am really looking for some good evidence that either of these two decks can beat the other one when they lose die roll. Because to me, it feels like the person who wins die roll is at such an insane advantage. Like, maybe I'm tripping. Let me know about my criticism of some of the emu plays. But I personally do not feel like this emu player played it like that clean. But ultimately they went 4, 6, 7, 4, 10. And when you do that, going second as the emu player, I feel like you're at an insane advantage. So, I don't personally know how Ace is beating Emu when they do that. I know that Chalice was saying when he got his win that he's got a secret strat to do it, but he wasn't going to reveal it yet because he still had events. I don't know when this secret strat is going to come out or whatever. I don't think he has made an Ace guide to my knowledge. I know he's made an Emu one. So I really don't know, to be honest, but I don't know. I would love to hear what you guys think of this game, because I think it was a pretty interesting one. Honestly, I think, to me personally, at least as a spectator, I don't know how much as a player, to be honest. I'm still trying to figure that out. I still have some possible qualms. But as a spectator, I think low key this could be a really fun format to watch, and I think you guys are gonna see a lot of me. Because I think there's a lot of different things that both players can do because both players have access to so many cards. So I'm definitely going to be trying to check out some streams. But anyways, I appreciate you all so much for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.